Hi, Anna.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. It's really great to talk to you again, and totally psyched about people's reaction to tomorrow. Like, oh my god, like we have some ground to cover, you and I.
Oh
So,
yes, definitely.
but like, I want to start off with a non from thing, if you're okay with that. It's
Yeah.
on your latest Instagram post, so I wasn't like being a weirdo. And it's a really awesome outfit you have, but I have an issue with your significant other. But let's
Okay.
so I want to show you this. You
Okay.
All right. So I want to show people who are watching um, how unbelievable you look as Padme.
Thank you.
So like this is legit an awesome photo. Like this is awesome.
Thank you.
I want to zoom in on something.
Oh no.
Please tell me your significant other is not drinking Bush beer or Bush Light or whatever that is or whatever 99 cent. Like I'm Hannah, I've got a legitimate problem with that.
I have no control over that man and the shitty beer that he drinks. That is not my problem.
You know what, Hannah? You said it yourself. Like the shitty beer he drinks. So listen, I'm kidding, but like, what an awesome costume! Like that is
Thank
really,
you.
yeah, yeah. You're a fun follow for those who don't, that may not follow you yet. But, um, anyways, so let me ask you this: talking about from season one to where you are now, right? Um, boy, I feel like you've grown up on camera. You've lived your life. You're doing this whole thing, like that's a lot. I don't know that I would have been mentally ready. Like childhood going into teenager, then going to adulthood was hard as hell for me. Like you're doing it on and off camera. Is it hard? Like there's got to be challenges for you.
I mean, there definitely is some like weird adjustment period, especially from the show from turning like from a teenager to an adult. Like it's been
Yeah.
an interesting adjustment there. But I've been acting like my whole life, so I don't find it too weird. I feel more comfortable when I'm on set, so working is what makes me happy.
Did you guys have fun with that Polaroid off? Like, I don't know if that was a working Polaroid that Nathan. Like, I have an interview with Nathan that I can't publish because it's got so many spoilers in it. I have to wait
Mm.
till. And this was like a week ago we did it. Like, did you guys? Because there's a lot of Polaroid things either on your Instagram or like there's a lot of you guys have a lot of like. But then there's also like casting stuff of the Polaroids. Do you have? Did you guys have fun with that camera or just Polaroids in general? I'm curious to know.
Yeah, that camera worked. So it was one of those ones that you have to flip up, and I did not know that. I'd never used that kind of Polaroid camera before. So I'm taking all these pictures, and they're coming out black, and I'm like, guys, your camera's busted. Like we need a new one. And then they just come over and they just like lift the top, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
it's
show my
it's
age here a little bit.
no, that's okay. It's the flash, right? When you fold it up like that, right?
Yeah, like it like opens the thing, and
Yeah.
it opens like the whole camera or something. I don't know, but I was not using it correctly in the beginning.
It seems like you guys have so much fun. So who are you like? So I have some questions for you from this wonderful Facebook group that we're on, and a lot of people had a lot of questions I want to ask you. I'm going to save that for the end. But let me ask you, who are you closest to? I don't know if this is a personal question, but who are you closest to as far as when the camera stopped rolling? Who are you closest to?
I mean, Pegah Ghaffori was my roommate while we were filming, so that's my bestie. She's
Yeah.
definitely like my sister. And then Nathan, obviously Nathan Simmons. Me and him and Pegah are kind of this like chaotic trio. So it's like I love those guys, and then literally everybody like Cortion, Ricky, Avery, Chloe, Kaylin, like the whole gang is just so much fun to hang out with, and we've definitely like grown with each other a lot throughout this.
Yeah, it's to add to your point. I was talking to Nathan, and he was like, "Yeah, I asked Pega to my cousin's basketball game, and she just went with me." It was like it's
Yeah,
crazy how close you guys are off camera. The only part, like, I love that I have a good rapport with MGM, and they set up these wonderful interviews. But like the one with Pega I had was like five. The ones that come from the studio are very limited.
mhm.
Pega seems like I would have loved to have more time, and that'll happen eventually. But like, she's just so much fun. She has such a good sense of humor.
She's
Like
freaking hilarious.
yeah, like hilarious. Like you could tell, like in 5 minutes, like I had like maybe a half hour more questions for her, but like
Yeah,
I could see where the two of you get along really well. Like she's a hot shit, and she's really funny, and I can see how that's a really cool grouping of people to hang out with. Like I could see it.
Yeah, it is. It's really fun. We have some good times. It's better in the summer when we're filming in the summers and we can like go outside and do more fun things instead of being like hunkered down sometimes in the cold. That wasn't the greatest, but
Yeah.
we have good times.
Is it Nova Scotia? Is that where it's filmed? How do you
Yeah.
like film? How do you like filming in Nova Scotia?
I love Halifax. Like
Yeah.
Halifax reminds I'm from Vancouver,
Yep.
Canada.
Gotcha.
So Halifax reminds me just so much of Vancouver. It's just on the complete opposite side of the country. But it was a difficult adjustment in the winters. That was hard for me to get used to, and I don't think I ever did. No, I know I never did. I was always cold, but it was good. I love Halifax. I like it significantly more in the summer.
Do you live in the like, so I know like they have like RVs or whatever for cast. Is that where you spend your time, or do you spend it like in a like, well, I guess that's why you're shooting. That's stupid.
Oh,
But
like
like,
our trailers?
yeah, like so like where do you like, I'm not where specifically, but like do you stay in like how's that work when you're, because you're away from home for a while, right? Like this isn't
Yeah.
like, you're not like a part-timer where you're coming in and leaving after, a week. You're,
Yeah.
this is your this is a life for you. This is it.
Yeah, we lived there for about 5 months, 5.5 months out of the year.
Wow.
So we,
Wow.
we live in apartments, and some people get homes and stuff, like I don't know, maybe Airbnbs and whatnot. But I've lived in an apartment all 3 seasons, and then the trailers are just while you're on set. It's just where you kind of get ready and change and stuff like that.
So like American Thanksgiving is coming up in a couple of days, right? So that's when everybody gets together. Does the cast of From have like an equivalent to that? Like do you guys get together because you are away for so long? Is there a lot of get-togethers as far as dinners or that kind
All
of
the
stuff?
time.
Yeah.
All the time. We did not last season because we weren't filming during them, but we did American Thanksgiving and Canadian Thanksgivings during.
Oh, how great is that? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
because we got a good
Yeah.
mix of people from both those countries. So we do all the holidays if we're there during the holidays together. We do like brunches, we do dinners. Like we're always seeing each other.
Who's got the best sense of humor of anybody on the cast? That's tough because I bet you Pega's kick-ass funny. Like I
It
feel like
is
there's
really funny.
I feel like there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of funny people on that
I
on that
think me and
cast.
Pega think that we're funnier than we actually are because we'll get together and just be like stupid, and everyone's like, "What is what?" Like we have this
I
bond.
get.
We're like, I'm confused, but Ricky and Cortion are very funny when they're together. You're always just like, "Oh my god, here we go! It's about to
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah,
about to
yeah,
get
yeah.
crazy." David Alpace, Harold, Sean Majumder, hilarious. These like literally everybody. Like, there's nobody that's like dull. That's the thing. Like everybody is just a riot.
I interviewed Sean a couple days ago, and I wasn't expecting this. Like he brought his kids onto the interview the last 2 minutes. I wish my daughter was like, she was upstairs. Like my heart melted. Like his
They are the
daughters are so cute and
cutest.
so beautiful. Like it was like, I was like you could, and that's I think what I love most about the, forget the stuff we see on screen. I love what you guys are about that I don't see, like the relationships, the rapport,
Mhm.
the family. It really is a Frumly, like
Family.
from the Facebook groups to your rapports with good friends on the set. Like that's what makes this show it's
Yeah.
got that Walking Dead family, like that beautiful. I love it. I just love it.
Very family vibes. I was actually at Sean's his eldest daughter her second birthday party. So
Oh
because
my
we were there when we were
god,
filming, so we got to see them. It was so freaking cute.
they
So
are,
cute.
and they're so funny. They were talking about the shows that they watched, and it was
Oh.
just, yeah, it was very positive. But let me ask you about the non-positive, right? Because I really like, so like 98% of like the social media that I'm involved with From is positive.
Mhm.
But you have that 2% that's like lethal. They are just unhappy people. Like if
Mhm.
it wasn't the From group they're unhappy in, I'm sure they're unhappy in like 10 other groups, like 15 other groups,
Oh yeah.
right? How do you deal with that, Hannah? Because I feel like sometimes people don't like your character. I feel like people might be jealous of your appearance. Not, I just feel like there's people that are jealous for weird reasons for a lot of things. Like I feel like people get envious of a lot of things. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with the hate? How do you get past that? As a public figure, as somebody who just obviously whose acting is so good that people have bought into it. How do you do that, Hannah? How do you get past that?
It can be hard. People can be very mean in like all the different aspects about your face, like about the way you look, the way you act, the way like everything about you. They will critique, and and people they get together and they just hate, and it's like this, you really don't have anything better to do with your time. And it's honestly like, for me, when I get hate, I'm just like, it's like embarrassing for you. Like, you actually like searched up a person online, went to their page, told them to like do bad things to themselves, and it's just like,
oh, I hope that didn't happen to you. I hope somebody didn't do that to you. I would be really upset if that was the case.
It's just like, it just speaks volumes to
it certainly does
themselves. But for every like one bad comment you get like 100 like positive, like amazing people that are so kind to you. And I think it's the negative ones that you can really like harbor on and really stick to. But you can't forget about the people that are so good and so kind in this world, and just you need to just ignore negative people. Because
that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's funny that you said it, because we're gonna get this at the end, but like the questions that people had, like 98% would tell her that I think she's beautiful, tell her I love her, I love the way but your character has come a long way in like 4 seasons. Like, so it's not like you were like this bad actor that found her way, but like you've evolved. Like, and are you happy with the way you've evolved? Like, you've got to be super proud of that.
I am. I'm very pleased with the growth from season 3. I mean, starting season 3, I was 17, right? Like,
wow.
I was just a baby. So I don't know. Like, I've definitely grown a lot more in my own personal life and with my acting as well. Like, I do look back on my season 1 acting, and I'm like, I could do this better now, and I could be better now. But I don't think there's anybody that goes back to their acting from years ago and goes, that was perfect. I was amazing. You're always going to be like, oh, I could do this so much better. The skills I have now. But
even like our first interview last year to talking to you now, like, it's like I'm talking, like the first interview was awesome, but like it's like I'm talking to a different person, which is awesome. Because as a human being, you're becoming like your own person. That's just awesome. And it's so great to see you become this, like, and your mom and your family members must be so proud of you. Like, that's so great. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
so awesome. Yeah. So let's get to some plot points. I'm going to tell you just quickly. So I saw episode 10 2 weeks ago. I want to tell you, this is going to sound so weird. So I have not stopped thinking about your performance in 2 weeks. Like, you're the person I came away with. Of all those actors, it's what you did in those last 4 minutes that, like, shattered my heart. But I'm like, this girl is, like, she's the shit. Like, she's got
I'm blushing. Oh my God.
No, like, I'm going to get into that in a second. But one thing I'm going to get into that I'm very confused with. Like, I am so, like, I'm 51 years old, and I can't put my finger on this. Is Randall, does he view, like, Julie as a sister, as somebody he might like? Is he planning, like, what is going on? I don't understand. Like, maybe it's because I'm not smart. Like, I don't know. What is that? Help me understand that rapport, Hannah, because, by the way, phenomenal act. It just goes, like, he's so unbelievable. But explain that rapport for me, as much as you know, I guess.
I'm very limited with what I do know.
Yeah.
All I know is kind of, I guess, Julie's side of it. AJ Simmons and I have worked together on this, kind of being like, what is going on here? Yeah. Because I kind of view it, I can't speak for him, but for myself, I do view it as more of a big brother, little sister kind of vibes. But I can also see Julie maybe having, like, a little, crush on him, like the older bad boy, I guess. But
she's definitely enamored with him to some degree.
Yeah, if that's reciprocated, I'm like, felon, that's a crime. Stay away from her. She's a child.
Very much so. Yes.
So many people ship them, and I'm like, guys, we cannot forget she's a minor, please.
Yes. And what she has to deal with is pretty impressive for being as young as she is. Like, forget the Randall stuff aside, it's the amazing stuff. Before I hop into the From thing, I did have a question I wanted to ask you. Are you streaming any shows on your own outside of From? Like, do you on your own personal time, free time?
Yeah, I'm in school full time, so I find it really hard to find time to watch TV, which is upsetting. But currently, we're picking our way through Supernatural right now.
Oh,
great show.
Source told me you're on a dean's list, by the way.
I am on a dean's list at my school. Funny you say that after talking about Supernatural, where Dean is the main character. I got a little. You're right. But I heard you, a very smart girl on a dean's list. Wow. I mean, listen, very impressive. So it's ironic. On Monday, I have a guest coming on that I know nobody has. The man in yellow, Doug, is coming on Monday. Awesome.
And I thought that was very ironic. I'm talking to you. I can actually say, if somebody says to me, "What did you do on Saturday?" I'm saying, "I hung out with Hannah. Like we just hung out and talked." How great is that? But like, talk about a stunning appearance. But I'll say that. And shortly after that is Simon Webster, who plays your brother Ethan. Talk about. I feel like nobody talks about this kid, and he's so good. Like he's just
Unreal.
like he's. I shouldn't say nobody talks about this kid. That sounds. But I feel like he deserves a lot more love than he gets, because think about being that age. Because there's an awesome scene between him and Jim in that last episode where the CB is coming back as the lost brother, and they both have had it. They're like, "Screw you, from we're done, we're good."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're not falling for that again. Just talk about him, because I feel like this. He's just, for his age, for what he's done, he's amazing. He does a great job.
He's unreal. I mean,
Yeah.
like, again, you go back to anybody that says bad things about him. I'm like, he's a kid, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, he's so unreal and so amazingly talented. Like, Simon is such a sweetheart, such a mature young man. It is such a pleasure to work with him, and I get to do so many of my scenes with him, and we just have so much fun. I don't have any siblings in real life, and getting to be around him, I do get to feel the big sister vibes, but he's also just my friend. Like, he's a good egg.
Yeah. Oh, that's very sweet. Yeah, I'm sure he appreciates you saying that too. All right, so let's get into it. The last 3 to 4 minutes of episode 10. Do I have to get the Kleenex now? I'm not going to make it through this. Like, this is how emotionally. So, you're running through the woods. Like, by the time I post this, it'll have dropped. So I'm okay.
I was wondering. I was like, is this live? I feel
no, this is not live. No. I would never do that to anybody. But like, all right. So you're running through the woods. You have a different haircut, which, all right. So I'm taken off by that. I'm like, she's got different hair. So let's put that aside. But she's yelling at Jim. She's yelling at her dad. Get the F out of here. Like, she didn't say. I'm paraphrasing. Like, get out. I know what's coming. You have no idea what's coming. Get out. Get out now. Like, and he's just wanting to protect. He's wanting to protect you, and it's like, it's this beautiful, just this. The gory part aside, the moment between father and daughter, and if people don't see this, like, shame on them. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene with two awesome actors at their best. And it's like, she's like, get out now. And he won't. He didn't do it. And Hannah, I can't. Like, I can't. And the screen. I don't know if you've watched The Walking Dead, but I don't know if are you familiar with it?
I've seen the first, like, I think 4 seasons.
Okay, so this is in season 6. There's a scene where Negan really hurts Glenn. It's
I've seen that. Seen that.
Yeah. So he does it in front of Maggie.
Yeah.
And she's like heartbroken. Like, obviously, who wouldn't be? Like, she's devastated. I got those vibes from you. Like, when you turned and yelled and said no, and that happens. Like, I honestly, it ended. The screener ended, and I stared for my TV for about 20 minutes, and I couldn't believe it. So, like, anything you wanted to say, Hannah, because I've just poured my heart and soul into this last minute to you. But, like, I'm not just saying this because we're speaking. Hannah, you've reached another level as an actor, which is unbelievable. Like, I talked to a lot of actors. Like, you are, like, this, like, where you are right now is a very, very good place.
Thank you. That is so kind. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, it was heartbreaking to read. It was heartbreaking to film. It was heartbreaking to watch. I went back and I rewatched the last, 4 minutes there about 10 times, just because every time a big thing is happening, my heart is always beating, even though I know exactly what's happening. I was there. I filmed it. My heart just beats, like, out of my chest. And, like, watching it, I was like, like, I was actually just, like, shocked to my core. And reading it in the script, I had absolutely zero clue it was coming. And then when it did, again, shocked to my core. I like the way in which our amazing creatives behind the scenes can just build every season and make it bigger and better. And these endings make them, like, grander and grander is, like, unreal. It's unmatched. I bow down to them. It's great. It's genius.
Yeah. And like, I talked to Catalina, and she said the same thing. She's reading the script. She's like, this can't be right.
No. Yeah.
This can't be. And to compound things, like, the fact that this guy's out in the daytime, even adds like I would say confused, but like there's so many emotions that hit you. People are not ready for the last 10 minutes of this.
No.
Like they're not ready for this. Like I thought I was, and I wasn't. I've watched that last episode. I want to say I'm at like 8 or 9 times at this point. I love it. Like I love it because it's from a drama point of view. It's so good. Like I
Yeah.
love it.
It's a great episode. I'm so excited to go see it.
It's one of the best series. Are you having a watch party? I saw on your Instagram. Are you having some kind of Frumly? I saw it on your stories. Are you having some kind of...
Every season we do an Instagram live hosted by Pega. And so like we'll have different people on at different times to chat about this series finale.
That is very cool. That is very cool. Yeah, but like now we're introducing daywalkers, and now they have like if this is whatever it is, they have no chance. They're going back to the days before the Talisman, and it's like now we're in big trouble again, right, Hannah?
Yeah, I don't even know. I wouldn't consider the man in the yellow suit to be a monster or like a night creature or anything like that. Obviously, it's daytime, but he didn't kill in the way that the other monsters do in turning and like transforming themselves into the monster.
Oh,
my theory is I don't think he's that at all. I think he's something completely different, and the voice on the radio as well, like having the same voice and saying the same thing. I believe that's something completely different that isn't. But if you look back in the drawings, I believe that we're in Miranda's in basement, Henry Miranda's basement there. I believe you can see a painting of the man in the yellow suit because I remember someone posted about it, and I was like, stop.
Oh,
they knew already when they were filming.
Right.
When they were filming the first episodes, they knew what was coming.
Yeah, there's no shortage of details here. They know what they're doing, 100%. But he does die the same way that that Father Cowtree dies. Like he gets that throat thing. Like Jim goes that same way. So it makes me think, maybe there's something. So it's hard to say, right?
I believe that when Father Cowtree died, though, it was a monster entity. It was in the
you're right.
Monster face, and then it was just a quick slash. Versus Jim was like still like a human looking man, and he like held it and like looked at him, and he stayed there the whole time.
Yeah. So what about the hair being different? Do you know anything about that? Your hair being different?
I have no clue what that means. I believe the whole thought process behind that was just to have her look different, to show that it's not the same Julie that we know currently in this timeline or world or whatever.
It's a time travel-ish type thing, right?
I don't even know. I don't think that From would ever do something as simple as just time travel. It would obviously have some kind of difference to it. So I don't know what it is, but I believe the whole thought process behind it was just, it's obviously not the Julie that we've seen in this whole show right now. It's some kind of different Julie.
Right, and you know what? Another scene where you shine too is where Ethan brings you to those like that circle where like you're sucked into that that cave. That was unbelievable too. Like again, like talking about stepping up your game. That was a really emotional scene, which you really shine. You did a wonderful job in that scene where how would you describe it? It was like once you enter that like circle of was it stones?
Ruins?
Yeah, the ruins. Correct. So it's like that again. So what level do you have to go to, especially in the last scene that we're talking about? Where do you have to go mentally as an actor to get there? Because I can't imagine there's often times where you have to get to a level like that, right? That's emotionally taxing. Right?
Yeah. Very.
Hannah, where do you have to go for that as an actor? Where do you have to go into like the depths of your whatever? Where do you got to go for that?
Those two scenes were very different for me. Like the ones that were mentioned being the last scene and then
Correct.
The scene with the ruins.
Correct.
The scene with Ethan in the ruins, I was sick the whole time that I was filming episode 7 and 8. So I honestly was like not in my best like place, and it was harder for me to tap into that emotion and just like, you're not sick, you're Hannah. I mean, you're Julie, like you need to be in this. So it definitely came from a different place where it was just like, it was harder for me to draw from emotion. So it was more just feeling actually in that moment, because working with Simon, it's so easy to feel things in the moment.
I'm glad you said that again. I'm glad.
I'm just going to gush over Simon.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that again. Yep.
Versus the scene in episode 10, I had a panic attack on set while I was filming that scene. It was incredibly emotionally taxing, and I just, I was very raw that day. So
because not only is it hard because of the unbelievable job you did, but I don't know how From works, but potentially you're losing somebody that you've spent your entire time with as a human being.
Mm,
Forget Jim, right? You spent your time with him since the first episode, right? Like
yeah,
that's insane. Like that's the one thing I wish kind of people understood. Like, yes, you're losing a key character, we think, but you're losing somebody that you spent loads of time with offset, like
yeah.
off camera. Sorry, like that's I don't know.
And
It's
that's why I'm still in this denial stage where I'm like, no, he's not dead. It's okay. He'll come back. That's not true.
yeah,
Something's up. Something's here. I'm not gonna lose him. We're good.
yeah, and people gave him so much shit this season. We talked about the negativity. They're like, Jim's an asshole. He's this. He's that. But let's face it, he doesn't see visions. He just wants to keep you guys safe. Like he wants to keep his family safe. And people are like, well, he's this. He's that. So he doesn't see the visions. Never mind the fact, Hannah, that now in another life or another what's the word I'm looking for? Reincarnation in another time around the whatever his wife, Tabitha and Jade had a child together. Like, has anybody dealt?
How do you cope with that? How do you just go about your life knowing that? Like,
We're gonna choose. It's like Thanksgiving. All right, here's some potatoes. Here's more. Here's more. Here's more. Like he's got so much on his plate.
yeah.
It's almost unfathomable how he deals with it. And
It's
people,
almost harder, I'd say, sorry to cut you off, but it's almost harder to be the normal guy. Like the one that isn't experiencing all this stuff because you're just like, okay, survival, family, survival. Whereas everyone else is like, no, this stuff is happening to me. And you're like, I'm not seeing, like, it's just having to believe in all this stuff that everyone's saying because nothing like that is actually happening to you. So it's just taking everybody's word for it. So I'd like argue that it's almost harder to be somebody just sort of normal in this situation because you're like, I just have to take your word for it that you're like a
yeah.
reincarnate with this guy who we know is an ass. Like it's weird. It's yeah.
No, that's a great point. And like, just put any parent could put themselves in his position. Like he's just trying to keep his family safe. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't have Jade's visions. He can't see what Tabitha sees. He can't see the kids. He doesn't know any of this. And then when she's in the truck or the car telling him, basically like we've had kids in another life. Like this poor man, like he has no idea what's going on. Like I used to think From was hardest on Kenny. I think Jim's the one who's been through it. Like, never mind the fact that like now his daughter saw him lose, his life in that way after experiencing all of that. Oh my God! Like what a process to go through, Hannah. What a
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
And
Yeah,
Ian does just like the most bang up job playing Jim and bringing all those because sometimes it's hard when you're playing a character that's saying things or doing things you don't necessarily want them to say or do. Like I guess when he's kind of sheltering Tabitha more, and then when Jade, in my opinion, he was in the right in that scene, saying like your wife is not a child, like she has her own
yeah,
autonomy, like like you can't keep everyone under lock and key. So I think it's hard to also like be playing that kind of like I don't know, it's not ugliness, but playing the ugliness of
yeah,
what a
yeah.
person is actually feeling because it's not always just going to be like I'm making the best decision all the time. It's also going to be like no, I need to figure this out, so everyone needs to just stay exactly where we are, sit down, don't do anything. Like and when people aren't following what you have in your head and what you want to happen, it can just be seen more spiraling and more and to going to greater lengths, like locking your family down. And so I think, yeah, I don't know. He just does a great job. That's all. That's my long-winded way of saying Ian Bailey is an amazing actor.
No, that's an awesome answer. Like, but you're right. He is dismissive of Tabitha a lot. But then you look at it as a parent, like he's just trying to protect you guys from the worst place
Mm-hmm.
ever. Like wherever From is, it's the worst place you could ever be. So I want to read you some fan questions, and I'm probably going to mutilate some names here. But Brooklyn, I want to say Chante asks what your favorite episode is.
Ooh, my favorite episode is of season 3. It is episode 2 or episode 8. I like both of those ones.
Okay. Stephen David asks about how your character has evolved since day one. What's your take on that?
she's definitely grown a lot, like faster than any other teenage girl would have to mature. But I've loved playing the different layers to Julie through each season. I get more information and more backstory and more present day information, and it's like an onion. I just peel back the layers all the time, and I'll just
Yeah.
discover new things about her.
Yeah, and now you wonder, right? Because like, so say, let's just say we both hope it's not the case. Let's just say Jim is gone for good, right? Um, Now Julie has a bigger role because now she's going to be a parent to Ethan, right? To going forward, like your role, like nobody's role has increased more than yours, just because of the way we left season, the last season, because of what you saw, what you went through. Now it's like I feel like if any character on the show, you're in for the biggest boost for season 4. It's just because of how everything adds up. There's no way it can't add up that way.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you ready for the smiley thing or no?
No, I didn't know what he was. And also episode 10, just so much shit is happening. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear. So much stuff is happening. I wasn't ready for any of it. And I'm just kind of trying to flip through because when I'm kind of reading the finale script, I just want to see what the big finish is. So I go and I see that and I'm like, oh. And then I'm reading it with Pega and she's like, I birthed Smiley. And I'm like, why? I can't keep up with all of this right now. Like I need like a Xanax or something. I need to calm down.
you know what I wanted to ask Pega? She said it, and I forgot to follow up on it because I got like five minutes with the interviews. But like, she said she had to drink that that movie, that the prop blood or whatever it is, and she says when it gets in your stomach, it feels weird. I forgot to ask her what the hell is that. Do you know what that is? The movie blood that she drinks.
I'm pretty sure because I've had to drink, not in from, but I had to drink movie blood at some point in my life. I remember it just sort of tasting like syrup almost. Like
oh, that makes sense.
It was almost, I don't know exactly what it's like vanilla-y, kind of maybe caramel-y, I don't know, liquid.
Lauren and about 1,000 others want to tell you how beautiful and talented you are. So it's no, but that that's a big thing because as much negativity as there is, there's people that really like just love your character. It's like there's a lot of people that love your character. I would say a vast, 99%. Because when I asked, because I said, look, I'm gonna be talking to Hannah. Give me your questions, and people were very honest, and that's really awesome. That like somebody would say that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think Julie's most understood by other young girls, like teenage girls. I find that they're the ones who are like, oh, Julie, like I relate, like I feel her, like, and I'm like, yes, me and my girls, we all get Julie.
Sue says that your screams, your screaming sent chills, and where is there an inspiration you have for the screaming, the chilling screams that you gave certainly at the end? People want to know if there's an inspiration behind that because that was a question that came up a lot. Like your scream that you gave, like it's frightening as hell. Like I was still caught in the emotional moment of a father and daughter, but that scream, where's that come from, Hannah?
I honestly don't know. I couldn't exactly prep that scream because I have neighbors. So I just came to set one day and I was like, all right, I hope this turns out good. I prepped obviously the fear and the emotion behind it, but I couldn't really prep the scream sound so much. I think I've done like silly screams before in my time. So I probably just drew off of that when I'm being dramatic and like playing around and I just yell or something.
So, a podcast host, Derek Thomas, wants to ask you, how will Julie react when she finds out that her mother's reincarnated and in a past life she had a child with Jade?
Not to be confused with a different podcast host, Derek Thomas.
Right. Because this is your favorite podcast, Hannah. Let's be honest. Like it is. Of course. But how would like I was thinking about that today when we were talking. I'm like, how is like I don't know, like how is she going to react to that? Like. I guess at some point nothing is believable in From, but everything is believable in From at the same time. Like, what is she gonna like? How does Julie react to that? How like if you had to write that script, what would you do?
I don't know. I think that there's different paths that it could go. It could go the direction of obviously if Jim is fully gone, Tabitha holds her kids much closer to her because now she's the only parent left. And now it's like she finally feels maybe closer to her mom, or I don't know. What I can see is maybe a more realistic possibility is my guess is maybe Tabitha spends so much time trying to understand what's happening with her and Jade. And then her connection to this place and their children. And I think she might get sucked up in that a lot more. And then once again, Julie may feel very isolated again and taking care of Ethan. That's the route I think it would more travel down. But also Tabitha, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. I'm not John Griffin. I don't know what his brain is going to conjure up for us.
Just a few more, and thank you for all this time, Hannah. You are so kind. I'm occupying your Saturday night, and you're being so sweet about it. Thank you.
I'm literally building a puzzle right now. Like, I'm not doing anything.
So Billy Law on Facebook asked some of the questions I've already asked you, but also asked the one that I like. She said, "Does any part of the show creep you out? Any specific part of the show creep you out? Maybe seeing a person."
The gore obviously is quite a bit. I always tell people, I'm like, "Are you okay with gore?" When they ask if they want to watch the show, and they go, "Yeah, I'm good with gore." And I go, "No, are you good with gore? Are you good with like a child, like their organs everywhere? Are you good with that? Because then you'll be okay with From." Like, I find that to be very gross.
Two more fans. Barbara Kajuska had 3 great questions. She said, would you like to pursue other roles in a horror genre?
Yeah, I love horror. I find my niche kind of within horror with all the projects I've done in my life. So
this one I love. This might be one of my favorite questions. Does anything in From give you nightmares at night? Like you, Hannah, give you nightmares that you filmed?
Actually, yes, but it's not what you think. I don't have nightmares about the show. I have nightmares about being on set and forgetting my lines all the time. All the time. And it feels so real because it'll be everyone and I'll be on set. And then it's like, I just go into a scene not knowing a single line. And the director is all like, "What is she doing? This is so unprofessional." And all the crew is like mad at me because I'm wasting their time. It is horrifying. It's the worst.
But I totally get that. But has there been a plot point that has stuck with you where you're like, Jesus Christ, this is okay. No. What do you and Julie have in common?
I think that Julie and I, what do we have in common? I think we're very social beings. I think we're both very much like trying to find our people all the time and always wanting to be around those people that bring us comfort. I think we're very family oriented, even though she's taken off a lot. She still deeply cares for her family and her little brother, like prioritizing him almost before herself. I think Julie and I also can be very like maybe stubborn and headstrong, very much like, I'm doing this. So maybe that's the only child syndrome in me.
No, I like that. Chance Jones, who's your favorite character?
I mean, this changes literally all the time, but
yeah,
it's always just going to be Jade. It's always going to be Jade, no matter what. I also just love Victor and Donna and Boyd.
Yeah. Hannah, can I tell you something? So I put, I had Scott and I had a session, an interview like this. It was like 5 minutes. So I was not ready for this. So on TikTok, I'm trying to grow my TikTok. It's going well. Like, it's just great. So I put a clip of Victor, right? I asked Victor, I go, people want answers. They want answers, blah, 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 blah. So it's got like it's approaching 500,000 views, the TikTok.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And I want to say 95% of them are from women and some men that talk about how stunning he is. They're like, for real though? Like Victor kind of like,
they're like, why is he kind of fine?
Yeah, that's it. Like I want to say there's like thousands and thousands of comments. They pop on my phone and it's like, Victor kind of like, I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, I can't tell Scott that because he'll think it weird. It's even more weird me telling you, but like, but being 51, I'm not always in on the lingo, but like he kind of, I'm going to tell you, yes, there's like 20,000, there's 20,000 of those. So I was not ready for that. Like I didn't like, because he's a good looking guy. He's very talented, whatever. I get it. And he's super kind and sweet, but like, I was not ready for that reaction. It just goes to show like how little I really know about what hits an audience, because it was like ridiculous, Hannah, how crazy that was.
There's a whole Victor fan page and they tag me in their stuff sometimes and they're always just talking about how beautiful he is and how they would die for him. And I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah. You go.
Like beautiful. Like I don't know. Anyways, my last thing, the last question I have is I think it's Lorene wants you to know that loved Hollow Child.
Oh yeah.
Loved it. So people love your work outside of this. Isn't that pretty awesome?
Oh, yay! I'm glad to hear that. What is the last name on that one?
I don't. You know what? I'm so like pissed at myself. Like my freaking writing is so like sloppy. It's terrible. And these people will be like, "Thanks for asking the question, but you butchered my name." But like, I tried. Like I tried. So what's your life look like now after From? What are we doing? You mentioned school, Dean's List, smart girl. Clearly, you have your um outside of the fact that you have to get your boyfriend or significant other drinking some better beverages because that's gross. Like you can't be dating one of the most talented actors around, you know, hucking around a bush light or whatever. That's
I
ridiculous.
honestly don't know what he was drinking. If it's beer, I'm out of my league. I don't drink beer. I don't enjoy beer. So any
Well,
beer
like
to me,
anything,
I'm like,
like Jesus, like any, you know what, like Miller Light, like even that's better than Bush Light. Like just something. Hannah, what's your life look like? Like what are you doing as far as just that you're comfortable talking about? Like what is like because there's the announcement was made season 4, but that's filming in 2025. So you have some time. How are you spending that time with whatever you're comfortable sharing?
how am I spending my time currently? It is finals coming up.
Outside of the puzzle too.
Outside of the puzzle. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that is my whole life. My life right now is puzzle in school. So now I'm gonna look really lame. What am I doing?
What is the
I'm
puzzle
going.
of? What's the puzzle of? Can I ask that?
I can't say because
Oh, okay, you
it's a
don't have to say.
gift for someone else, but I'm just testing it out there.
uh, Puzzles. I don't know how you do it. Like puzzles are like drive me nuts because my daughter's into puzzles. I can't. Like I can't even do the 26 pieces one. I'm good. Like
Really, I
I
love
can't.
puzzles. It's my
Yeah,
pastime.
yeah.
I am going to Confess Bahrain in January 31st and February 1st. So I will be going there. That's my big like acting world stuff that's coming up.
So what is that? Explain that to me, Hannah. What is that?
It's a convention. There'll be other guests there, and people can go, and there'll be like Q&As and photos and autographs and all that jazz. It's like a convention. It's all like sci-fi and pop culture stuff. I don't know. I'm really excited.
So this is an awesome way to end this interview, right? Because like I go to a lot of Comic Cons. I've been covering them forever. I went to the Rhode Island. I'm New England based. I live in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So the Rhode Island Comic Con is huge, one of the biggest on the East Coast. There was like no From people there. I'm like, are you like this is one of the most popular shows on television?
Evil.
Like we have to change this because there's tons. I know there's tons of people that want to meet you or Victor or whomever, Catalina, anybody. Like I feel like this should be like the new Walking Dead as far as popularity because I mean, Hannah, this is like I expect to see you at like Rhode Island Comic Con next year or like whatever. Like it would be great to see you guys
I
there.
will try to be there.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a no brainer for like whoever's booking these cons. You should like you or whoever else. What do you like most about cons?
I've never been to one. This will be my first one.
Oh, that's exciting. Because listen, like what I like, how much I told you, like how much your character was like hit me that last episode. You're gonna hear that times 1,000. But like that's awesome. Like as an artist, like you are, like that's huge. Like you want to know how you impact others' lives. As an actor, I'm not an actor. If I was, I think that's the ultimate currency. If somebody told me how much I changed their life through my ability,
Yeah,
right? You know.
totally.
Yeah. Well, Hannah, I've kept you on long enough. Hannah, thank you for all this. Is there anything else you want to throw out there?
No, I think that's it.
I think we've covered everything. I
Got a lot
hope
of
you
misses.
I hope you come back before season 4 starts. You are really a fun guest to talk to. You're
Thank
always
you.
honest and open. So, Hannah, thank you for this and enjoy your puzzle and have a wonderful night.
Thank you. I will. Oh, I'm excited to get back to it.